Okay, while the world sounds like they're sleeping, it has been a very, very long minute. I think I left off on energy work and I just want to get right to it because I don't want to hold you, but it's still working. Most recently, the other night, I found myself becoming, mm, I'll say like charged. I became like really, really charged, but I had some emotions that rose up. And I don't know if y'all remember, but like during like the cold winter seasons, um, or when the year first began, we were doing all of the purging and all of the releasing and all of the letting go. I'm quickly learning that that is a phase, or those are like steps in life and steps that we take in life, but they never really have an ending. It's just important to release what no longer serves us, what we no longer resonate with or agree with, etc., etc. So I find like some real valid emotions that came about whilst I'm doing this energy work because remember, I recognized that I was in fight or flight mode and having just moved back like really close to actually on the actual street where my childhood home lies is like a full circle moment. I'm like, wow, I'm back where it all began. So, of course, things are coming up. And not necessarily not like I'd expect or not like I thought that they would come up, but it's like I got put right back where it all began. And my friend talked about if you're into astrology, I am into astrology and I'm studying with a community over on Patreon. But my friend talks about this transit that just happened with Uranus. And Uranus is one of those planets where you look at the last 7 to 10, maybe 12 years of your life to really see the effects. And I was talking with myself last night, like, okay. And at first I didn't understand. I'm like, wow, that's boring. Wow, I don't want to do that. I'm over here, working hard. Who cares about that? Where's the good stuff? Where's the blessings? Where my money? I'm tired. I'm trying to learn how to rest and I don't want to rest, right? And then I lay down and I'm still and I just get like this surge over me where it's like I want to give you compassion. I literally said that like in my head, like I want to give you some compassion. Let's talk. Like it's getting real, like the inner work going within and caring for myself, showing love and appreciation and devotion. It's working. Let me see if they're still recording, y'all. We're there. But it's freaking working. And the relationship with the self, if you're doing it, I'm hoping that you're recognizing, or if you find yourself there, I'm hoping that you're recognizing that it's working and that you truly have a friend within yourself, a love and a partner within yourself, because that's exactly how I am feeling. Enough to be like, let's talk. Okay, let's talk. Well, let's talk about the last 7 to 10 years. And I'm like, oh, yeah, well, my friend has been talking about something like that. Something about this planet that, encourages you. I won't say force, but encourages you to look at the last of your life, the last 7 to 10, maybe 15 years of your life. And I go, and I'm like, well, self to self, I'm like, well, and I go, I wouldn't really have done anything different. I moved towns when I was very young. I made that decision when I was too young to make the decision, but I still moved. I was very well taken care of and I moved alone. I'm a small town girl, you know. I can drive by all of the houses that I've ever lived in. I'm a very small town girl. So if there's a north side, east, and a west side of a city, I've lived on one side all my life. I'm a west side girl all the way. Yes, ma'am. I'm a west side girl all the way. So very small. So I made that decision to move cities when I was too young to move cities, but I was well taken care of and I was supported in that decision, right? I spent about 7.5 years in that decision and I came back to my hometown. And I struggled back and forth, back and forth, back and forth between what I wanted, who I wanted to be with. I really, really did struggle where I wanted to be if I didn't already say that. And so I'm like, But now that you mention it, now that you open up that can, I really wouldn't have done anything different. I say, to be honest, I just would have done what I did more consciously and with more money. That's it. I say, now that I look back and reflect on everything I did, because I punished myself for that decision. And for a while, for years, that was one decision that I regretted making for a while, because I kind of felt like it took me off course. And looking back years later, I'm like, I knew too soon that that was something that I wanted to do. Here I am today, years old, like, wow, that's something that I really wanted to do. I had something there. God, why wasn't I conscious? Why didn't I know what I had? Why didn't I recognize it? It was right there in my hand. Now here I am feeling like I'm starting all over again. Why didn't I recognize it? So I'm looking and I'm looking, scoping out the last 7 to 10 years of my life, and I'm like, I wouldn't have done anything different. I wanted what I wanted when I wanted it. I wanted that, and I got that. And I wanted the same thing again, got it again. I'm like, wow. Wow. I had been given or granted, whatever you want to call it, manifestations, intentions, prayers, time after time again, and didn't even recognize it, moving senseless, unconsciously. And I was like, wow, now that you open up that can, I wouldn't do anything differently. I would just be more conscious of, I would just want to be more conscious today, years old, but looking back, I would want to have moved more consciously and had more money for some cushion and to be able to take care of myself and settle in and work some things out better. And I sat and I'm like, wow, I really was granted things that I wanted in its likeness, and it was good for me. But I was like, I shouldn't have regretted that move. I shouldn't have regretted that decision. And a therapist, I had a massage therapist tell me one day, and I forget her exact words, but I remember the train of thought that it triggered in my head. I'm like, nah, she said some genius shit. She said something so genius. She getting the kinks out of my shoulders, and she go, maybe you had an opportunity that they didn't. And blase, blase, blase. And I'm like, what? Nah, you don't know what. Nah, wait a minute. Y'all hear that? Thank you. Whatever bug that is, or bird. And I'm like, wow. And that was a couple years ago, maybe 1 or 2 years ago. And it still rings in my head what that lady said. I'm like, wow, looking back, I really did do something so bold, so courageous. And I was so young. I was 15. I was 15. And I made the decision to move cities, move schools. And I'm a West Side girl. Move cities, move schools, move house. Like, I'm like, wait a minute. Why did I have the power at that age to do what I did? And I was well taken care of. Thank God I was well taken care of in that decision. But when that chapter, I want to say, just came to a close, I found myself stumbling back and forth, back and forth. I didn't know where I wanted to settle, where I wanted to be, who I wanted to be with. I'm like, it was just hard to find some settling during that time. And I say that to say that it's working, the energy work, or the self work, or the self love and care and devotion and holding space for your emotions, your feelings, and your experiences. It's working. Maybe you're not crying all the time. Maybe you're crying 24/7. Maybe you're processing and releasing. Maybe you're still kind of stuck on where to start or begin, or if it's making any progress. But progress is progress. Progress is progress, and it is working, because so much is being dug up, so much is resurfacing. Like, I'm on the literal block of my childhood home, and so much is coming up. And as I work through this, I'm like, wow, I shouldn't have gone through that as a kid. Wow, I needed to be held as a child. Like the energy work, I believe that's where I left off with you guys. Because believe me, I've really been in it. I do this for real. Like, I've really been in it. And so it was like, wow, I recognized and realized I needed to be held as a child. I was an emotionally sensitive child and an emotionally intelligent child. I needed to be held, and I love to be held. So I bought myself a teddy bear, and I'm loving that thing. Like, my baby is loving that thing, and I just kiss it and I hold it and I cry with it, and it's such an amazing experience. I'm like, wow, this is what you needed, some tight hugs and some kisses. And I recognized that I wanted that specifically from my father, whom was always at work, but I still needed him. He was home, he was present, he was a full-time dad, but somehow I needed him a little bit more. I recognized that I needed the love and tight hugs and protection from my brothers. I needed a little more. And I'm like, wow, I held that with me. And so this transit or forces or God, spirit, universe, whatever it is that you believe in, has this force in play and is encouraging us with these movements. Like I said, if you're into astrology, if not, then just life in general is encouraging you if you feel it, and if you attune to the times, or if you're just feeling it on a intuitive level, or you're just feeling it because you recognize the sways and the subtleties of life. However, you don't have to use the fancy words and things like that to understand when there's a certain moment in time that really calls to you and really speaks to you and have you really introspecting and making changes or desiring to make changes and reflect on your life. And I notice how that push or that force that's in the air was working in my life, because with all of that being dug up, I recognized like, wow, I really was navigating with that fear and with that fear, that fight and that flight in my work, in my relationships, my closest relationships, and anything else that came about in my life, in my internal especially. I never flipped that switch, and I recognized what I actually needed to help soothe that. Here I am today, years old. My birthday just passed, and I'm like, wow, this is what I needed all these years. And getting my little teddy bear, tapping in, and it's however, I say this all the time to y'all, it's uniquely your own. You don't have to buy a teddy bear to get these results. But my baby needed a teddy bear. My baby needed to be held, her tears wiped and kissed and just loved. So much affection and love. A little cuddle ball. Like, that's what I am, right? And I'm like, okay, this is what I needed. I didn't need to hear uh Tupac thumping till 3, 4 a.m. and then getting up for school. I didn't need to be coaching my parents through their marriage as a freaking 12-year-old. I'm like, don't talk to her like this, Dad, and Mom, don't talk to Dad like I remember I was that one. I was that one child that would yap, 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 yap. You couldn't get me to shut up. You couldn't get me to shut up. Because I just talked like I knew everything. But I had an inkling. And I was a smart kid. I was a smart girl. I can hear my dad's voice all the time. And we've been having talks on the porch lately. And he always reminds me how smart he thinks I am. And how capable and competent he thinks I am. And yet, like I said, he was a full-time dad. Very supportive, very full-time and present. But I still needed him a little more in specific and unique ways that I feel like, as young parents, they weren't able to quite tap into and recognize, because their job is food on the table, the immediate stuff. And with four of the kids? With 4 of the kids, it was like, okay, food on the table, clothes on the back, roof over the head, reliable transportation, public education. You know the ropes, right? And as I'm today years old and I'm beginning to gain more understanding of, okay, that there was some holes that needed to be filled, and now I am in a place to fill those holes for myself, hence the teddy bear and the energy work and making myself feel safe and secure, right? So as I'm doing that, and so much is coming up, my childhood is coming up, what I should and shouldn't have been engaging in, what I should and should have not been condoning and partaking in, and how I should and should have been treated and molded, and that's another word, how I should have been coached, maybe raised or groomed, right? I'm noticing and recognizing the specifics of me and what I would have loved and how I would have loved to have been loved as a child, and coming up. And I get to do that. And I feel like there's this force encouraging us with these new transits that is encouraging us to look back and review. Thank you for bringing that back up. The specific words that came through during this time is review and listen. And I sat back and I remembered. I remember that word. I spoke about this on my channel. Because again, I'm thinking, man, I'm just yapping on that channel. But every time I come back and experience something and say something that confirms what I said when I first said it. I have to believe in me. You have to believe in you at this time. You know what you're doing. Deep down at your core, you know what you are doing, love. You know who you are and you know what you're doing. And I remembered this. I believe the title was Spirit has you under review. Your spirit, God, whatever it is that you believe in has you under review. And I'm like, it's so familiar. I remember being in this phase, going through this, doing the writing, doing the crying, the purging, the releasing. And here it is again. And I go, this never really ends, does it? This is a lifelong journey and a lifelong experience, isn't it? This is a marathon. And just understanding, having an understanding. No, it isn't fun. It isn't fun. It hurts, actually. I purged so hard emotionally the other night. I woke up with a crook in my neck. And my friend picked up on this. She says, what you are releasing and emotionally purging at this time is triggering physical ailments because it's so heavy. It's leaving, it's cleansing your energy body in your auric field where the emotions and the trauma and the experiences are stored. And it's sort of like having this physical effect. And I'm like, wow. And it's happened again and again. It happened so hard. One day I had to stay home and take medication. And I am not a medication girl. And I am not a body pain girl. I hate pain in my body, which is why I'm so interested in like yoga and anatomy and healing and health and wellness these days. Because it's like, body's beautiful. The body doesn't have to suffer. The body doesn't have to be in pain, right? But that's another story. I purged so hard that it brought up physical ailments in my body, right? But I remember the words review, back to that, and lesson. And it doesn't feel like a punishment. It hurts emotionally to bring it up, to have to disrupt my nervous system temporarily to clean out the gunk. Remember that energetic purging and that full body renovation, or that full body spiritual renovation or energetic renovation that I was talking about. Your energy is cleansing itself where the emotions, the experiences, and the trauma and the triggers are stored. Yeah, that's cleansing itself. It's getting it up out of you. So cleansing out the gunk under this review. And what I recognize or realize is it wasn't a punishment. It's encouraging me to look at the last 7 to 10, 12, maybe 15, depending on your journey, years of your life, and go, I'm not really sure. Like, what would you do different? How did you like this? How would you, move forward with this understanding? And it's kind of like that open book test, or where the teacher takes the red pen and just revises and edits and put commas and points and periods and, things on your story or on your journal, on your point. to guide you in the right direction, to teach you, to mold you, right? That molding is still happening from whatever it is that you believe in. That curating, that refining is still happening in these times. But this one in specific is encouraging me to look at everything, and it is uncovering everything that has been up until this present moment. And it's coming out of nowhere, because one minute it's about my childhood, the next minute it's about a decision I made at 15, the next minute it's about what happened last month and how I didn't feel safe in something that happened a couple months ago. And everything has been coming up. I just had a conversation with my family about how I didn't feel safe and secure in an incident that happened with us a couple months ago. I reflected last night on a decision I made when I was 15. And I cried about my childhood just a couple days ago. Like, it is working. It is working. And and that's where I'm at with it. Under review, in lesson, because it doesn't feel like a punishment. It hurts. Like, it physically hurts, and emotionally it's a lot to ask of you and of yourself to dig it all up again. But this doesn't feel like punishment. This feels like a proper burial. That's what it feels like. Finally being able to let it rest. Because when we put the nail in the coffin, it was out of fight or flight or flee or fear of having it surface and show its ugly face or show its traumatic face, right? We pushed it down. We didn't want to talk about it, speak about it, hear about it, see about them. We didn't want to check in and attune to it. Why would we want to do that? We didn't want to slow down. We didn't want to hear it. We didn't want it to surface or come up. We didn't want to be burdensome, or we didn't want to be burdened. Excuse me. And this feels like the gunk is coming up. Opening up the floodgates is what it feels like, and peeling back the layers of ourselves and getting to our core. But what this feels like, looking back on all that was, is so that we can properly lay it to rest this time. Because I feel myself on the brink of a journey that I have attempted to, or a marathon that I have began to run time and time again. I'm like, I'm doing this again. Like, I'm doing the exact same thing again. But this time, I can't help but feel like, oh, but this feels different. On the back end, it feels like I'm backed. It feels like something wants me to win this. Something wants me to be able to withstand this marathon, to run the full race, right? But at such a gradual and steady speed, right? We talked about that. And I wanted to work over it. I wanted to hustle or grind right over the pain, right over the experiences that wanted to come up. But the forces are so strong. They are so serious about your evolution. They are so serious about your growth during this time period that so much fell apart and literally broke down, so that you cannot deny what needs to surface, what needs to be addressed, and what needs to be properly buried, so that you may move on for good, efficiently, effectively, and accurately, truly, and your authentic self can emerge. Something that, like, there was a force so strong that would not allow me to bury it, not allow me to work over it, to ignore it. It had to come out. It wanted to come out. I got physically ill, or physically, like, I just barely dodged a common cold, because something wanted me to sit down and slow down. And it was a force so strong, yet so compassionate. I had to sit still. I was like, you know what? I get you. I've been doing this thing between you and whatever it is that we've been doing this thing for quite some time. I'm going to just say, God, I'm going to honor you. I'm going to honor myself. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to slow down. I'm going to take it in. I hate it. What? What? I hate it. I'm hurt. Emotionally, it hurts. Physically, my neck hurt. And I do not like bodily pain. But I say, you know what? It's working. And I'm getting up out of here. I'm getting up out of what kept me stuck, what kept me in. And I recognized, I was like, wow, I sabotaged myself that time. I had everything that I had wanted and I had asked for. But one, not only was I unconscious of what I was doing, I had it in my hand and I didn't even know. Two, I sabotaged the crap out of myself when I had it. And I'm like, wow, out of fear of evolving, out of fear of growth, out of fear of my true self. And the fact that I can really, I can really do this. That I really had a hand, like I can really do this. And when I say do, I'm going to show you. I promise you. I'm going to show you. Like, that I'm actually quite skilled at life, at love, at authenticity. I'm actually quite good at it. At manifesting, hell, at praying. At whatever it is I put my mind to. I sabotaged myself because I had fears, subconscious fears or unprocessed fears that was scared of my evolution. I was scared of myself, afraid of myself and my growth and my evolution when I had no reason to be. And I had to sit still to recognize. I had to watch me trigger myself and watch me sabotage myself so I can see how I was going about my game. And I had to go, whoa, 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 ego, whoa, trigger, whoa, trauma, whoa, self, whoa, fear, whatever you want to call it. I need you to bag up. I'm safe. I'm secure. And so the work that it takes for to put in what you are capable of to be able to recognize even yourself or someone else, if it's someone else for you, when they're holding you back or when how can I put this into words? Because for me, it was myself. For me, it was myself. And I'm like, whoa, self. Whoa, unhealed self. I'm good. I'm straight. We good. I got it. You just sit right there. I'm good. I got it. I promise. We good. But I appreciate all that you have done for me. But I have it now. It's been working. And it hurts. But it's so worth it because it feels like a win. I just heard it feels like a win this time. And it's happening not at a speed that I desire. And I remember saying that, but I'm not sure if I spoke about it. Once I get out of my way is what I said. Because I strongly feel like this is going to happen at a speed that I don't really desire. It's happening a little too slow for me. I said, but if I let this play out, if I get out of my way, keep my hands off the master plan, and let this play out, let this force, this transit imprint on my life and make an impression, the impression that it is designed to make on my life, and it's going to make it regardless of my cooperation at this point, because it moved me. It said, no. We're not letting you sabotage this. We're not letting you get in the way of this. You need this. This is good for you. And I'm like, wow. I sat down last night like, wow. Good looking out. Good looking out. God, spirit, whatever it is that you believe in. Good looking out. You really want me to see this thing through. You want what I want. And you're in you're in full support of me. But I want you to know, my love, these birds are out here fighting again. It's crows versus, I'm not sure what kind of bird that is, but the little bird be tearing the big bird up. That crow ain't nothing compared to these little birds. They be, oh, there they go. Oh, there they go. All right, let me... It's so funny to watch because I'm like, look at my mind, like, look at nature's babies out here fighting and acting a fool. I say it's cute when they do it. It's not cute when I do it. Well, it's cute when they be fighting. It's not cute when I be fighting. So, but yes, I've healed you. But I want you to know that you're working. It's working. We're working. And it seems so back end. It's like, am I doing anything? Can't nobody see these changes. Can't nobody see me emote. Like, can't nobody see that on you. But I promise you, I think they can. They can sense it. Like, once we emerge, and I'm telling you, we get out there, if we're not out there already, but we get out there and we start doing what we're doing, looking at each other hang time and coming out of that cocoon that we were in, when we truly start to spread our wings and shine like Unique Collective, like we know we are destined for, appointed time for, whatever you want to call it, bro. It's happening. And I truly believe that you won't know what we did, but you are going to sense it on us. It's going to be in our stance, in our walk, in our talk, in our sense of self. They'll practically be able to smell it on you. Like, ooh, that looked like self-love, self-care, self-devotion, appreciation. That looked like refinement. That looked like it just came out of the trenches, and it's ready to roar, right? It's been working. It's been tough, but it's been working, and with all that being brought up last night, I was like, oh, I gotta get back on the mic. Because everything that I had been talking about, few things that I had been talking about came up, and I'm like, so I was right. So you were right. I was right. I was on it. Intuitive nudges. I was right. But the energy work is working, and what I've been doing on the back end is working for me, because the sense of self is stronger, and I've slowed down, and allowing and slowing down and resting takes some getting used to, but I'm recognizing how pivotal it is in growth, and how not necessarily all the time do hard work need to cover up that type of work. Sometimes that is the hard work. Sometimes resting is the hard work, the grind, and the hustle. Like, because it gets lost in translation when you moving and you're hustling and bustling, right? It gets lost in translation of what is truly at the core, and what's truly the problem, and what's at the root of why you're even navigating or responding or living the way that you are, making the choices and decisions that I was. It was because I needed to be held as a child. Why I worked so damn hard. You know? And so it's like, it's no longer hidden in translation the more I sit still. Hardest shit ever. It's like, oh, that was it? I can do that. We come to realize it's not like, it's like I can do that. And that I actually love doing it. I actually love showing up for myself, being there for myself, holding space for myself, and, feeding myself. Like, it's working. And so I actually still sense for a while now the good days ahead. Though I've been under review, in lesson, just flowing, as everything in this world does. It's just a flow to it. It's a rhythm to it. Yeah. What was I saying? I started hearing the birds chirp and I just got lost. But while the world was quiet, I wanted to check in with y'all right fast. But the hood about to wake up, so let me go and let me eat. I was about to journal, but I was like, nah, this is a perfect on the mic moment. But I missed you guys so much. And I'm going to get this posted. But again, I've held you and it's working. So keep going, because I can still sense the bright days. I was like, Lord, not another cold winter, but even the winter seems like there can be summer-like joy in it. Ooh, I like that. With the way that you have worked your energy, I bet your bottom dollar that the cold winter days that used to feel so lonely, that felt lonely when we were going through what we were going through this past winter, it's going to be some summer-like joy in these upcoming winter days. No matter the weather, it's going to be some summer-like joy over us and within us for the work that we continuously put in. This is a resilient collective, a resilient collective. We are determined to see it, and whatever it is that we believe in is determined, to show us, right? But I've held you. Thank you so very much for sharing in this space with me, and I'm wishing y'all nothing but love and support on y'all journey. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye, guys.